What if I told you that the path to a better life, to success beyond your wildest dreams, isn't paved with complex strategies or flashy tricks but with simple, powerful habits that anyone can master? Imagine standing at a crossroads, tired, disillusioned, and uncertain of which direction to take, only to meet a wise mentor who shows you how to unlock the potential you never knew you had. This is where we find Alex, a man burdened by the weight of his unfulfilled ambitions, standing on the threshold of transformation. As the morning sun begins to rise, casting its first light on the temple at the forest's edge, Alex meets Brother Elias, a serene monk with answers that seem almost too simple at first glance. But in their simplicity lies a profound truth, one that promises not only success but a life of purpose, clarity, and fulfillment. Over a cup of tea, under the watchful eyes of the morning sun, Elias begins to unravel the 15 habits that could transform not just Alex's life, but yours as well. In this journey, you'll discover why waking up with the sun is more than just a productivity hack, it's a statement to yourself and the universe. You'll learn why listening more than you speak can reveal truths hidden in plain sight, and why saying no can be the most powerful yes you ever give. From taking risks to spending quiet moments in solitude. From guarding your time to surrounding yourself with positivity. These habits have the power to reshape not only what you achieve but who you become. But this isn't a story about instant change or miraculous transformations. It's a story about progress. About becoming a person who doesn't just chase success but embodies it in every action, every habit, and every moment. So lean in, listen deeply, and be ready to challenge everything you think you know about living a successful, meaningful life. This journey is yours to take. One habit, one decision, one small step at a time. The sun had barely begun to hint at its rise when Alex arrived at the temple on the outskirts of a dense forest. The early morning air was crisp, and each hesitant step he took along the gravel path produced a soft crunch that mirrored his internal conflict. Why was he even here? How could the wisdom of a simple monk rival the endless advice from books, podcasts, and life coaches that had left him feeling no more enlightened? As Alex stood at the doorway, the scent of incense and the freshness of morning dew greeted him. Inside, a calm figure sat cross-legged on a simple mat. The monk, Brother Elias, radiated serenity like an ancient, untouched mountain. His robes, worn yet tidy, blended seamlessly into the earthy, quiet surroundings. Everything about this place seemed to whisper simplicity and wisdom. I've tried everything, Alex burst out, his voice carrying the weight of frustration and desperation. I have these big dreams, but I can't seem to escape my bad habits. They hold me back from achieving anything. I don't even know who I'm supposed to become to reach the success I crave. Brother Elias's gaze was kind but penetrating, as if he'd encountered this dilemma countless times. You are trapped by the habits you've nurtured, he said softly. Habits are like seeds, they grow based on what you choose to plant. If you start planting good seeds, habits that serve you, they will lead you just as surely as bad habits now control you. The monk leaned in, his voice both compassionate and piercing. Success is not merely a list of achievements. It is about becoming the kind of person who commands respect and inspires others. If you're truly ready, I can teach you 15 habits that can transform not just your achievements but who you are at the core. Alex listened intently, feeling both the weight of his past and the possibility of change. He nodded, his resolve strengthening. He had come to leave his old self behind. And now, under the guidance of this wise monk, a new path awaited. Brother Elias began his teachings with a concept that sounded almost deceptively simple: rise with the sun. Make this your first habit. Wake early, while the world is still cloaked in quiet. Alex's skepticism was immediate. Wake up early? That's it? He raised an eyebrow, wondering if this was some kind of test. The monk's soft laughter filled the room. It seems simple, doesn't it? Yet, the power it holds is immense. By waking before the sun, you gift yourself time, precious moments to plan, reflect, and take action. You prove to yourself and the universe that you are ready to face the day head-on instead of hiding from it. Elias paused, letting the gravity of his words sink in. Like the first rays of sunlight touching a river's surface. Morning offers clarity, your mind is rested. Your body is renewed. When you begin your day intentionally rather than by inertia, you start to shape your life on your terms. Alex shifted uneasily. I'm not exactly what you'd call a morning person. The monk's eyes twinkled with understanding. Neither are most people, at first. But habits shape who we become. Don't they? Start by waking 5 minutes earlier each day. In time, you may find that the sun becomes an ally, not an enemy. Elias went on. Each morning, before the world fully stirs, ask yourself this: what will I do today to bring me closer to my goal? The key to success lies in this quiet determination. Those who greet the sun gain an advantage few night owls ever experience. Alex pondered this, realizing that a single change in how he approached his mornings could shift the trajectory of his entire day, and maybe even his life. But the monk's teachings were just beginning. Now, let us discuss the second habit: keep learning. Every single day, absorb something new. It doesn't matter how small. This habit will feed your growth. Elias explained, his voice steady but insistent. Alex scratched his head. What if there isn't anything new to learn? The monk's smile was patient. But life offers lessons everywhere. Read. Observe. Ask questions. Even a single sentence, if it strikes you deeply enough, can alter your perspective forever. Successful people are students for life because knowledge is the foundation of mastery. Whatever you seek to achieve, immerse yourself in learning about it. Each bit of new knowledge takes you one step closer to mastery. Elias leaned back slightly, giving Alex space to absorb the wisdom. Remember, it is not about speed but consistency. It's the practice of learning, day after day, that shapes who you become. With a quiet determination building inside him, Alex nodded. In the stillness of that morning, a flicker of hope had been reignited. He was ready for more. The morning stretched on as Brother Elias poured steaming tea into 2 modest clay cups. Alex's anticipation mixed with doubt as the aroma filled the air. What's next? He asked, eager for more wisdom. Elias's eyes softened. The third habit: speak less. Listen more. Alex raised an eyebrow. That sounds easy. Does it? Elias countered, tilting his head thoughtfully. Many rush to speak, believing their words prove their worth. But the truly wise listen more than they talk. In silence, we absorb the world's whispers and our own inner voice. By listening deeply, you can hear what others miss: insights, feelings, even the unspoken truths in your heart. The monk's tone shifted. The world is loud, filled with opinions and noise. If you can cultivate genuine listening, you gain clarity, and clarity is one of life's rarest treasures. Alex nodded slowly. The advice seemed simple. But its impact was profound. Elias leaned in again. His voice lowering as he shared the fourth habit, learn to say no. The words jolted Alex. Say no. Isn't that selfish? The monk shook his head. No, it is essential. Saying no to distractions means saying yes to your true path. If you constantly say yes to everything, you scatter your energy and dilute your efforts. It's okay to say no, especially when it pulls you away from what matters. When you honor your path, others will learn to respect it. For Alex, this struck a deeply personal chord. He had spent too much time trying to please everyone around him, fearing rejection if he declined. But Elias's words offered him something unexpected, permission to prioritize his own growth. It felt liberating. Brother Elias stood and began to pace. The fifth habit, he said, is to take risks. Understand that avoiding risk is, in itself, a great risk. You must step into the unknown. Alex's pulse quickened. But, what if I fail? Elias's expression was calm, almost compassionate. Failure is a teacher, not the end. Every success story is built on risks taken. If you wait for perfect conditions, you will stand still. Take wise risks. And with each step, you'll gain strength. He paused, letting Alex absorb this truth before continuing. The sixth habit is solitude. Spend 10 minutes daily in complete silence. No phone. No distractions. Just you and your thoughts. Alex frowned. What am I supposed to do in silence? The monk smiled. Reflect. Ask yourself questions. What do I want in life? Am I living aligned with my goals? This stillness offers insights that the noise of daily life drowns out. To master yourself, you must first understand yourself. Alex imagined such moments, no performing, no pretending, just time to be with himself. It felt intimidating, but perhaps necessary. Elias's next words were as sharp as they were true. The seventh habit, make decisions and act quickly. Successful people do not wait for the perfect moment. They decide and move forward, learning as they go. Progress is the best teacher. As Alex listened, a realization dawned. These habits weren't about instant change but gradual transformation. Step by step. Elias placed a gentle hand on Alex's shoulder. Time for more wisdom, he said. Respect time. Every moment is irreplaceable. Wasting time is wasting life. Alex reflected on countless hours spent procrastinating and scrolling mindlessly. The weight of lost time pressed down on him. The monk continued. Ninth, avoid distractions. Focus on what truly matters and ignore what does not. Most people fail not from lack of talent but from scattered focus. Elias paused, his voice softening. 10th, surround yourself with positive people. Those you spend time with shape your outlook. Stay with negativity, and you'll drown in it. Choose those who uplift you. Alex thought of his relationships, supportive friends and those who drained him. The lesson was clear. 11. Elias said, is to write down your thoughts. Ideas are fleeting, capturing them preserves their power. Alex understood this deeply. His mind often raced with thoughts that vanished before he could act. Elias's voice became solemn. 12. Take care of your health. The body is the vessel for your dreams. Nurture it with exercise, meditation, and mindful living. He continued with a twinkle in his eye. 13th, smile. Joy, even amidst struggle, transforms everything. It lifts others and fortifies you. Alex felt himself smile. 14th, live within your means. True wealth is freedom from worry, not possessions. Finally, Elias spoke with gravity. 15th, be responsible for those around you. Lift others. Help the struggling. And leave the world better. That is true success. As Brother Elias's teachings settled into Alex's heart, he knew that these habits were more than the first habit. Brother Elias began with a calm certainty. Is to rise with the sun. Wake early. While the world is cloaked in quietude. In doing so, you will uncover the magic that hides within the stillness of dawn. Alex furrowed his brow, clearly unimpressed. Waking up early. That's the grand secret. The monk's laughter was warm and genuine, resonating like a soft chime. It seems deceptively simple. Does it not? But simplicity often hides great strength. By rising before the sun, you gain something precious, uninterrupted time. Time to reflect, to plan, and to act with clarity. When you greet the day before it truly begins, you show both yourself and the universe that you're prepared to meet challenges head-on, not shy away from them. He let the silence stretch out for a moment, as the first light of dawn crept through the window, touching the floor like a hesitant guest. Morning is when your mind is freshest, your body rested. Rising early is more than an action, it's an intention. It's the first step in shedding the old version of you. Alex shifted, trying to find comfort on the hard mat beneath him. But I'm really not a morning person, he muttered, almost defensively. Neither are most people, at the start. Elias replied with a knowing twinkle in his eyes. Habits shape who we are. Start small, wake just 5 minutes earlier each day. Soon, you may find yourself welcoming the sun as an old friend, not cursing it as an unwelcome intruder. He continued with a seriousness that grounded his words. Each morning, take a moment to ask yourself, what can I do today to bring myself closer to my goals? Success is built one sunrise at a time. Those who rise with the sun have a head start that night owls rarely catch. Alex's skepticism began to wane as he considered the weight of this practice. The idea of using quiet mornings for clarity and focus felt oddly empowering. Before he could linger on this thought for too long, Brother Elias gently steered him into the next lesson. Now that you grasp the value of time, the monk said, let us speak of the second habit, never stop learning. Learn something every day, no matter how small. This concept sparked both interest and doubt in Alex. What if I can't always find something new to learn, he asked, feeling a twinge of skepticism creep back in. Elias's patient smile held a lifetime of understanding. Life is a boundless teacher if you keep your eyes and ears open. You can read, observe, ask questions, and pay attention to everything around you. Even a single sentence, if it strikes deeply enough, can shift your perspective forever. He leaned in, his voice steady but infused with passion. The truly successful never stop learning because knowledge is the soil in which mastery grows. Whatever your dreams may be, become a lifelong student of them. Every bit of knowledge brings you one step closer to mastery. Not just of your craft, but of yourself. He paused, as if to let his words settle, like gentle rain soaking into dry earth. Remember, Elias said, it's not the speed of learning that matters, but the consistency. A steady flow of learning carves paths where there were none. In the soft glow of the temple, Alex felt something shift within him, a flicker of hope and determination. The thought of starting his day with intentionality and continuously seeking growth felt like a path worth treading. He could see the promise of leaving behind his old habits and becoming something greater. But the monk wasn't done. He leaned back. His posture relaxed but his words pointed. Think of learning as a muscle that grows stronger with use. Each day that you absorb new information or insights, you expand your horizons. You become adaptable, capable of seeing what others miss. Life's challenges become less daunting because you've armed yourself with understanding. Okay, Alex said slowly, as if weighing the impact of this idea. I think I can start with that. Elias nodded in quiet approval. His eyes filled with a warmth that suggested he had seen the beginning of many such journeys. When you open your mind to learn, you give yourself permission to evolve. Complacency is the enemy of growth. By embracing daily learning, you avoid stagnation. Alex's gaze drifted to the thin beams of light piercing the temple's interior. There was a power to these simple truths, a realization that habits, even small ones, carried immense transformative potential. Elias's words lingered. The echoes of wisdom that felt timeless and immediate all at once. The monk continued in his measured, steady tone. Think of it this way, you are a sculptor. And your life is the stone. Every day that you rise early and learn, you are chipping away at what does not belong, revealing the person you were meant to be. Is it really that straightforward? Alex asked, feeling the weight of doubt mixed with intrigue. Simple. Yes. Easy. Not always. But transformation often hides behind daily acts of consistency. Elias's gaze was unwavering, like an anchor in a storm. These habits are not about perfection, they are about progress. He then posed a challenge. Tomorrow morning, rise before the sun. Take a moment for silence. Ask yourself what you will achieve that day. Then, before you rest, reflect on what you've learned. Let this cycle repeat, and you will see changes beyond what you imagined. Alex could feel a small ember of determination burning in his chest. He nodded, absorbing the advice with a new sense of purpose. The path ahead felt daunting but not impossible. For the first time in a long time, he felt the quiet whisper of hope, the kind that spoke not of instant success, but of meaningful growth. The sun had fully risen, casting warm light across the temple floor, as if blessing this newfound commitment. Alex knew his journey had only just begun, but he was ready to take that first step. The monk's teachings would be his guide, a compass to steer him through the wilderness of his own potential. The morning sunlight danced through the open windows, casting soft, golden beams across the room as Brother Elias poured tea into two simple clay cups. The aroma of the steaming beverage mingled with the lingering scent of incense, creating an atmosphere that felt both grounded and timeless. Alex watched the monk's steady movements, his thoughts a tangled mix of anticipation and doubt. So, what's next? He asked, eager yet uncertain, as if each new habit revealed would require peeling back another layer of his old self. Brother Elias set down the teapot and met Alex's gaze with a knowing smile. The third habit, he said, his voice gentle yet resolute, is to talk less and listen more. A flash of skepticism crossed Alex's face. That sounds easy, he said, almost dismissively. The idea seemed too simple compared to the struggles he had faced. Too straightforward to carry the weight of transformation he sought. Is it really? The monk countered, tilting his head thoughtfully. Most people rush to speak, convinced their words will prove their worth or make them wise. But the truly wise know that wisdom grows not from speaking but from listening. In silence, we receive. In listening, we gain understanding. When you listen more than you speak, you begin to hear the things most people overlook, not just in others, but within yourself. Elias's words lingered in the air, hanging like a weight. We live in a world full of noise, he continued. A world brimming with opinions, arguments, and distractions. Everyone wants to be heard, but few are willing to truly listen. When you become someone who listens, really listens, you become rare. And with that rarity comes clarity. A gift most people never possess. Alex leaned back slightly, absorbing the monk's words. He thought about the many conversations he had rushed through, waiting only for his turn to speak, and the countless times he had missed what was truly being said. He nodded slowly, feeling the lesson sink in. Before Alex could reflect further, Elias leaned in, his expression both serious and compassionate. Now, for the fourth habit, learn to say no. The word struck a nerve. Alex sat up straighter, his mind reeling. Saying no. Isn't that selfish? He had spent his entire life bending over backward to accommodate others. Afraid of rejection. Afraid of conflict. The idea of saying no felt alien, almost rebellious. Not at all. Brother Elias said, his tone steady but firm. Saying no to what doesn't serve you isn't selfish, it's necessary. When you say no to distractions, you are really saying yes to your dreams, to your priorities. If you say yes to everything and everyone, you end up scattered and lost, with nothing left for yourself. You cannot be everything to everyone without losing yourself along the way. When you learn to say no to what doesn't align with your values, your energy becomes focused, your path clearer. Elias paused, letting the words resonate. Think of it this way, every yes you give comes with a cost. Time, energy, focus, these are limited resources. When you say yes to things that don't matter, you have less to give to what truly does. But when you honor your own path, others will begin to respect it as well. Alex felt as if something heavy had been lifted from his shoulders. He had always feared that saying no meant disappointing people, that it would lead to isolation or resentment. But hearing Elias's words reframed everything. It wasn't about rejecting others, it was about honoring himself. He took a deep breath, feeling a mix of relief and empowerment. For the first time, he understood that prioritizing his dreams wasn't selfish, it was essential. The monk continued, his voice soft yet insistent. Think of your life as a garden. Every time you say yes, you plant a seed. But if you plant too many, if you fill the space with things that don't matter, your garden will be crowded and suffocating. Say yes only to the seeds you truly wish to nurture. Say no to the weeds and distractions. Alex nodded, picturing the garden in his mind's eye, a place he could tend with intention and care. He had spent too long planting seeds for others, while his own dreams withered from neglect. Now, for the first time, he felt he had permission to tend to his own growth. Elias's gaze softened, his words carrying a hint of compassion born from experience. The power of saying no extends beyond preserving your energy, it also teaches others how to treat you. When you set boundaries, you communicate that your time and dreams matter. People may resist at first, but in time, they will respect your clarity. Alex considered this deeply. For years, he had been afraid of letting people down. But he now realized that constantly bending to others' expectations had only left him stretched thin, unfulfilled, and lost. The freedom to say no, to protect his own path, felt like a radical, life-changing gift. The monk sipped his tea, then continued. Silence and boundaries are powerful tools. When you listen more and speak less, you gain insight. When you say no to what doesn't matter, you gain focus. Combined, these habits bring you closer to yourself and your dreams. Alex felt something shift inside him, a quiet but profound resolve. The morning sunlight had grown warmer, bathing the room in soft light. As if to underscore the importance of these lessons, he took another sip of the tea, letting its warmth spread through him, and prepared himself for whatever wisdom the monk would offer next. Elias's words echoed in his mind long after they were spoken. In this noisy world, clarity is a gift. Use your words wisely. Listen deeply. And have the courage to say no when you must. These habits will not only change how others see you but, more importantly, how you see yourself. Alex nodded again, his determination solidifying. He knew that his journey was far from over. But for the first time, he felt equipped with the tools to move forward with purpose and authenticity. He would speak less, listen more, and protect his energy fiercely, saying no not to reject, but to make space for what truly mattered. And in that quiet moment, he understood that this simple shift could transform his entire life. Brother Elias rose from his place on the mat and began to pace slowly, the movement as deliberate as his words. His steps seemed to echo in the quiet room, guiding Alex deeper into his own tangled thoughts. Let's turn to the fifth habit, Elias said, pausing briefly. Learn to take risks. Avoiding risk, he added, his voice firm but calm, is the biggest risk of all. A lump formed in Alex's throat. Risk had always terrified him. It felt like stepping out onto thin ice, unsure whether it would hold or crack beneath him. But what if I fail? He asked, the fear evident in his voice. Elias stopped pacing and looked at him with a calm, unwavering gaze. Failure is not the end, it's a lesson, he said with the weight of experience. Every great success you see today is built on a foundation of risks taken and failures endured. If you wait for perfect conditions, you will remain forever motionless. But when you take wise, calculated risks, each step forward strengthens you, even if you stumble along the way. The words landed heavily on Alex, both unsettling and strangely empowering. He had spent so much of his life paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes, waiting for a moment when everything would feel just right. But deep down, he knew that moment rarely, if ever, came. The idea that taking risks, making mistakes, could actually build strength and resilience felt both revolutionary and terrifying. The monk's tone softened, as if sensing Alex's internal struggle. The fear of failure is natural. It's your mind's way of protecting you from harm. But living without risk is like choosing a cage over freedom. Growth requires courage. Risk gives you the chance to become more than you are today. Elias let the words hang in the air for a moment before moving on. Now, let's turn to the sixth habit, he said, his voice taking on a more reflective tone. Spend time with yourself. Every day, take at least 10 minutes to sit in silence. No phone. No distractions. Just you and your thoughts. Alex's brows knitted together in confusion. What am I supposed to do during those 10 minutes, he asked. The idea sounding both simple and oddly intimidating. Reflect. Elias replied, his tone gentle but insistent. Ask yourself questions that cut to the heart of your life. What am I doing? Where am I going? What truly matters to me right now? In those moments of silence, you will uncover truths about yourself that are drowned out by the noise of daily life. Reflection is a mirror that reveals who you are and who you're becoming. Knowing yourself is the first step toward mastering yourself. The thought of spending 10 minutes alone with his thoughts without the constant buzz of his phone or the distraction of noise. Made Alex uneasy. But at the same time, it intrigued him. What might he discover if he allowed himself to just be? To strip away the masks and pretenses. He closed his eyes, picturing those moments of solitude. A space where he could breathe, think, and be honest with himself, free from the pressure to perform or pretend. As Alex opened his eyes, he saw Elias watching him with a mixture of kindness and seriousness. The monk leaned in slightly. And finally, he said, his voice dropping just a bit, as if to emphasize the importance of what he was about to say. The seventh habit: make decisions and act immediately. Immediately, Alex repeated, incredulity creeping into his voice. Yes. Elias nodded, his expression unwavering. Most people spend years waiting for the right moment. They hesitate, second-guessing every decision, hoping for a perfect path to reveal itself. But perfection is a mirage. And waiting only breeds regret. The most successful people are not the ones who wait, they are the ones who decide and act quickly. They make a choice, take a step, and learn from the journey, even if the path is messy and imperfect. The monk's words ignited something inside Alex, a mix of fear and possibility. He had always prided himself on being thoughtful, on weighing his options. But he also knew that, more often than not, this tendency to overanalyze had paralyzed him. He had missed opportunities because he was too afraid to act. When you decide and act, Elias continued, you create momentum. Progress, even if it's imperfect, will teach you more than waiting ever could. You may make mistakes, but each mistake becomes a lesson. You will learn what works and what doesn't. The only true failure is inaction. Alex nodded slowly, absorbing the weight of this truth. He had spent so much of his life standing still, afraid of making the wrong move. But maybe it was time to take a step, even if it led to a stumble. Maybe stumbling was better than standing still. Elias's eyes softened as he placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. Remember, he said gently, life is not about perfection. It is about progress. Take risks. Reflect deeply. And act with courage. This is the path to growth. To becoming the person you are meant to be. Alex felt a surge of determination, tempered by the fear that still lingered in the corners of his mind. But he knew one thing for certain: he was tired of waiting for the perfect moment. He would take risks, even if they scared him. He would carve out moments of quiet reflection, even if they made him uncomfortable. And he would make decisions, acting on them with purpose. The room seemed to grow warmer as the morning sun climbed higher, casting golden light across the space. Alex could feel the truth of Elias's words settling into his bones. Growth, change, success, none of it would come without risk, without reflection, without decisive action. But with each habit he embraced, he was carving a path to becoming someone stronger, more resilient, and more alive. He looked up at the monk, a spark of determination in his eyes. I'm ready, he said, the words carrying the weight of newfound conviction. Elias nodded, a smile playing at the edges of his lips. Good, he said. Then let's begin. The sunlight streamed in through the windows, bathing the room in warmth and light. Brother Elias's gentle touch on Alex's shoulder felt grounding. Yet his words carried a weight that demanded attention. We are nearing the end of our journey together. But these final habits are just as crucial as the first. Elias said, his voice steady and encouraging. He straightened, his eyes meeting Alex's with a quiet intensity. The eighth habit, he said, is to respect time. Time is like water held in your hands. Once it slips through your fingers, you can never grasp it again. Every moment is irreplaceable. So use each one wisely. Life itself is merely a collection of these fleeting moments. Your success, your growth, everything depends on how you choose to spend them. Alex felt a pang of regret as he thought about the countless hours he had wasted scrolling mindlessly through social media, procrastinating when he should have been working toward his goals. The realization was almost painful. But it also brought a newfound appreciation for the minutes he still had, minutes that he could choose to use with intention. Elias continued, his tone softer but no less urgent. The ninth habit is this: avoid unnecessary distractions. Many people don't fail because they lack talent or potential. They fail because they allow their energy to be scattered by things that don't truly matter. Distraction is a thief. It steals your focus, your productivity, and ultimately, your success. Learn to ignore the noise and zero in on what is genuinely important. Alex nodded, recognizing the truth in those words. He thought of the endless notifications, the meaningless debates, and the countless hours spent on trivial things that had added nothing of value to his life. Distractions, he realized, were not harmless, they were sabotaging his dreams. Elias's voice took on a gentler tone as he moved to the next habit. The 10th habit is to surround yourself with positive people. You may not realize it, but the people around you shape who you become. If you spend your time with negative, cynical, or small-minded individuals, their energy will pull you down. Their doubts will seep into your mind, and their fears will become your own. The monk paused, his eyes softening as if he understood the weight of this truth. But when you surround yourself with people who uplift you, people who believe in your dreams, who inspire you to be better, you will rise with them. Positivity is contagious, just as negativity is. Choose your circle wisely. Alex felt the sting of recognition as he considered his own friendships. There were those who encouraged and supported him, and those who drained his energy, leaving him feeling small and inadequate. He saw now that every person he allowed into his life played a role in shaping his journey, for better or worse. Elias pressed on, his words flowing like a stream of wisdom. The 11th habit is to write down your ideas. Thoughts are fleeting, Alex. A brilliant idea may come to you in a moment of inspiration. But if you don't capture it, it will be gone forever. Write down every idea, every plan, every dream that sparks within you. Doing so clears your mind and creates space for new ideas to grow. It transforms your scattered thoughts into something tangible, something you can act upon. Alex thought about the countless ideas he had dismissed or forgotten, the moments of inspiration that had slipped away like water through his fingers. He resolved then and there to make writing a daily practice, not just for the big ideas, but for the small sparks that could lead to something greater. Elias paused, letting the significance of these habits sink in. The weight of their simplicity was matched only by their power. Time, focus, company, and capturing thoughts, each one a cornerstone in building a life of purpose and meaning. Taking a deep breath, Brother Elias continued. The 12th habit is to take care of your health. A strong body supports a strong mind. If you neglect your health, your dreams will suffer. Exercise. Eat mindfully. Meditate, whatever you do. Remember that your body is the vessel for everything you wish to achieve. The monk's words were a reminder of how often Alex had taken his health for granted, pushing himself to exhaustion without care for the toll it took. He realized that true success required balance, a commitment not just to ambition but to self-care. Elias's voice grew softer, more tender. The 13th habit is to cultivate joy. Smile often. Alex. Not just for others, but for yourself. Life will always have challenges. But joy is a choice. It's what gives you strength in dark times and hope when things seem impossible. When you carry joy, you spread it to others. You become a light in their lives. Alex felt a smile tug at his lips. It was so simple, yet so powerful, to choose joy even when circumstances were difficult. He had spent too much time weighed down by stress, forgetting that he had the power to change his own perspective. The 14th habit, Elias said, his voice turning serious again, is to live within your means. Do not spend more than you earn. Save for the future. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. True wealth is not measured by how much you own, but by the freedom you have from worry. Alex thought about the pressures of consumerism, the constant desire for more that often left him feeling empty and stressed. Living within his means wasn't just about money, it was about freedom from the relentless pursuit of things that didn't truly matter. Finally, Elias's voice took on a reverent tone. The 15th habit is this: take responsibility for the world around you. True success is not just personal, it's communal. Help those in need. Lift up those who are struggling. Leave the world better than you found it. This, above all, is what gives your life meaning. The weight of this final lesson settled over Alex like a mantle. Success wasn't just about achieving his own goals, it was about lifting others, creating a legacy that extended beyond himself. The sun's rays seemed to burn brighter, as if blessing the moment with its warmth. Alex absorbed each word, feeling a deep sense of purpose settle into his bones. These habits weren't just a path to personal success, they were a guide to living a meaningful life. One that lifted not just himself, but everyone around him. The 12th habit. Brother Elias began, his voice carrying a steady calmness, is to maintain your health. A healthy body is the foundation upon which a strong mind is built. Without health, even the grandest of dreams become burdens. Exercise regularly, find movement that brings you strength and joy. Meditate to center your mind and clear away the clutter. Eat with intention, savoring each bite, mindful of what fuels you. You must care for yourself because every goal, every ambition, rests on the shoulders of your body. Alex nodded, recognizing the truth in the monk's words. He had pushed himself hard in the past, burning the candle at both ends. Sacrificing sleep, skipping meals, thinking that was what success demanded. But in doing so, he had been building on a shaky foundation. He resolved to treat his body not as an afterthought but as a vital partner in his journey. Elias continued, his expression softening. The 13th habit is to stay joyful. Life is full of challenges. Alex. You cannot control every circumstance, but you can choose how you respond. Joy is a choice. Smile, not just for others, but for yourself. Carrying joy within you is like carrying a light in the darkness. It illuminates your path and gives hope to others who cross your way. The monk's words brought a warmth that spread through Alex's chest. He hadn't smiled genuinely in a long time. Always too weighed down by stress and worry. He allowed himself a small smile now, feeling its lightness. Joy is contagious. Elias added. When you smile, when you carry positivity, you invite others to do the same. It is not about pretending everything is perfect, but about finding moments of light even when the world feels heavy. Elias paused briefly, giving Alex space to let the lesson sink in. Before continuing, the 14th habit is one that many overlook but is crucial for a life of freedom: live within your means. Do not spend more than you earn. Save for the future. Not because you fear what is to come, but out of respect for it. True wealth is not measured by how much you own but by the freedom it brings from worry and stress. Alex thought of the times he had spent chasing after material things, new gadgets, expensive clothes, thinking they would bring him happiness. But they had only brought fleeting satisfaction and deeper stress. Living within his means was not about deprivation, he realized, but about choosing freedom over fleeting pleasures. It was about building a future that was not weighed down by debt or constant want. Elias's voice deepened, taking on a tone that was almost sacred. The 15th and final habit is this: be responsible for the world around you. True success is not just personal, it is communal. When you achieve something, do not hoard it for yourself. Help others. Lift up those who are struggling. Make it your mission to leave this world better than you found it. The gravity of his words struck Alex. He had always thought of success as a solo journey, something he achieved alone. But now, he saw that true fulfillment came from sharing his success, from using his strengths to uplift others. It wasn't just about what he could gain, but about what he could give. Elias's eyes glimmered with a mixture of hope and compassion. Think about what kind of legacy you wish to leave. When you are gone, what will people remember? Will they remember you for what you accumulated or for how you made them feel? For the ways you helped when it mattered most? A deep silence followed as Alex considered these questions. He had never thought much about legacy, it felt too far off, too intangible. But now, he saw that every day was a chance to build it, to create something meaningful beyond himself. The monk placed both hands together in a gesture of peace. If you practice these 15 habits, you will not simply find success, you will become the kind of person people respect, admire, and remember. Someone who leaves an impact. Someone who creates ripples of goodness long after they're gone. The weight of gratitude filled Alex's chest. The habits were more than just steps, they were a way of living. A guide to becoming someone he could genuinely be proud of. He understood that this journey was not about perfection but about progress, about becoming a little better, a little stronger. With each step, Elias gave him a small, knowing smile. "Remember," he said softly, his voice carrying both challenge and encouragement. "The journey does not demand perfection. It asks for progress. And it begins with one small step, taken with purpose." Alex nodded, feeling the monk's words settle deep in his heart. They were seeds, waiting to be nurtured. He took a deep breath, feeling lighter and more determined than he had in a long time. As he turned to leave the room, sunlight bathed his face, as if illuminating the path ahead. It was a path of health, joy, wisdom, and responsibility, a path of becoming not just successful, but worthy of success. With every step he took, Alex knew he was ready to embrace each habit, one at a time. The journey was his to shape, and he would walk it with intention, with courage, and with the desire to lift others along the way. It was, after all, a journey worth taking. As our journey with Brother Elias and Alex comes to a close, we are left with 15 simple yet transformative habits that have the power to reshape our lives from the inside out. These are not just actions to be taken, they are values to be lived, paths to be walked, and seeds to be nurtured within our hearts. Think about the habits you've learned today. Rising with the sun, embracing new knowledge every day, listening more than you speak, and guarding your focus against the endless noise of the world. Consider the courage it takes to say no to distractions so you can say yes to what truly matters. Reflect on the power of taking risks, of carving out moments of solitude to understand yourself deeply, and of making bold, decisive moves when others hesitate. These habits are more than advice, they are a way of life. As Alex learned from Brother Elias, true success isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about the small, deliberate steps that lead to big changes. It's about building a foundation of health, cultivating joy, living within your means, and lifting others up along the way. Real success leaves a legacy. It doesn't just benefit you, it transforms everyone you touch. If this story moved you, inspired you, or gave you a new perspective, I invite you to take action. Reflect on the habits that spoke to you the most. Start small, with one change, and let it grow. And as you walk this path, remember that you are not alone. Join our community by subscribing to Charles' Mindful Nexus, where we explore practical wisdom, meaningful growth, and stories that change lives. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear these words, and leave a comment below. I want to hear from you. What habit will you start today? The journey toward becoming the best version of yourself starts now. Take the first step, and let's grow together. Your transformation is waiting.